Now that we are able to load a login page that is perfect, that looks identical to the real login page, and there is no clues in it to indicate that this is loading inside another browser, we also removed all the scary parameters that get displayed in here. The only thing that I want to do is link this to a domain name and have HTTPS enabled on it. As a result, we're going to be able to see the lock icon in here, and we're not going to see this not secure, so that this will look very, very believable. Now, I covered how to do this previously, so that's why I'm actually just going to show you how to do it, but I'm not going to do it. So first of all, you want to go to your domain name settings, you want to add an A record, and we explained how to do that, and you want to link the domain name to the IP of the instance. So the IP of the instance, as you can see in here, is this, and I have that linked to my domain name. So that's good. The next thing that you want to do is to go ahead and enable HTTPS on it, and we can do that using certbot. So to do this, you want to first of all install certbot by doing apt install certbot, and we covered that again in multiple lectures before. As you can see, it's saying that it is already installed because I have installed it myself before. So the next thing you want to do is actually create a certificate, and you do this by doing certbot. We're going to say that we want cert only. We're going to use the -d to specify the domain, and in my case it's zshacks.com. And we're going to tell it that we want you to do this using the standalone method, meaning that I want you to start your own server and do the authentication. Now, I covered how to do this previously. We covered this command and how it works and why we need it. As a result of this command, you're going to get two certificates, the private key and the full chain. So once you have that, this command will output the links to the full chain and to the private key. And once you have them, all you have to do is run your novnc with the --cert option to specify the location of the certificate, and the --key option to specify the location of the private key. So I'm going to paste the path of my certificate in here, and I'm going to paste the path of my key in here. So very, very simple. We're using the same command. We're just adding the --cert and specifying the location of the cert that you get from the certbot command. And then we're doing --key and specifying the location of the key, again, that you get from the certbot command. And I didn't actually execute the certbot command because I've already generated these certificates to save you time, because I covered this previously and I don't want to be doing the same thing over and over. So if you don't understand this, please go back and revise how to use certbot to generate a certificate. We also have to change the IP in here from 80 to 443 because HTTPS runs on port 443. And that's why instead of 80 for HTTP, we're using 443 now. So I'm going to hit enter. And we're going to go ahead and go to https zshacks.com. And perfect. As you can see, the title already says Gmail in here. And we get a nice login page for Gmail that looks identical to a normal Gmail login page. There is nothing different in this page than the proper page because it is actually the proper page loading inside another browser. Now, to make this attack more believable, you should change this name, the zshacks.com, to a name that is more believable. And we covered URL manipulation previously on how to add Gmail in there in the URL, and you can even pick a domain name that is easier to believe, like loginform.co. I actually own that domain, but you can be inventive with this to try to make it as believable as possible. So now that everything is working, this is the moment of truth. Let's go ahead and log into a Gmail account and see how this works. So, assuming you send this link to the target is going to go ahead and put their username. So I'm going to put my username, johnwick70@gmail.com. It's going to ask me for the password. And now we're going to go to the two-factor part of this. So there's two-factor enabled on this account, and it needs me to authenticate myself using another factor, using another method. So it's going to send a text message to my phone number. I'm going to click on send so that it sends it. and I got the text message there. I'm going to put the code, which is 855502, hit enter. And perfect, now I'm logged into my account. And as you can see, we get a security alert that somebody logged into the account, but that doesn't really matter. So right now we're assuming that I am the target, I am the victim, and I logged into my account. So as an attacker, you can go ahead in here, and all you have to do is Control-C to cut the connection. This is what the victim will see. They'll think something went wrong, but that is fine. As a hacker, if you want to go ahead and gain access to their account, you're going to have to go to a normal VNC client. So I covered how to install one previously, and I already have my profile stored in here. So all I have to do is just connect to it, put my password, and perfect. Now I have access to the target Gmail account or whatever account that you are trying to have access to. Not only that, but I can also access my keylogger. So to access this, you have to click on the Alt in here, and then click on Shift and O from your keyboard. And as you can see, we have the key dumps in here. And if you scroll up, you'll be able to find the password. Now I'm not scrolling up because I don't want to show my password, but you have all the keys that were pressed. You can even see the shifts and the controls and everything that the user has pressed. Now, obviously, you can use any keylogger you want. You don't have to stick with this keylogger, but that just shows you how much freedom you have. You can install any plugins you want. You can install any software you want, because this is actually your own computer where you can prepare it any way or shape that you want and then send it to the target user. Now, the next thing that I want to show you is how to gain access to a WhatsApp account with this. So the really cool thing about this method is, like I said, is the amount of freedom it gives you. So if we go to web.whatsapp.com, you'll see that you can access a WhatsApp account through a web browser by simply scanning this code right here. So if you have physical access to a phone, all you have to do is simply scan this QR code using that phone, and you'll be able to access all of the messages and even send messages through that WhatsApp account. So we can leverage this to our benefit, because we can simply go back to our computer, our hacker computer, and we're going to clear this. We're going to run our NoVNC server again. We're going to connect to it. And let's quit this. And this time, again, we're going to run Firefox in kiosk mode. But instead of Gmail, we're going to say we want to load web.whatsapp.com. I'm going to hit enter. And we're going to get the same page that I just showed you. So now all you have to do is send this link to your target and tell the target that this is a new version of WhatsApp, or maybe they don't even know that they can access WhatsApp through the web browser. So you can be like, oh, look at this cool new way of accessing WhatsApp using this website. So they come into this website. All they have to do is simply scan this code with their phone. So I'm going to do that real quick. And perfect. Now, as a victim or a target, as you can see, you'll be, oh, this is really cool. I can use my WhatsApp from the web. So you can let them use it for a while, even if you want to. And then once you're happy, you can go ahead, Control-C in here to disconnect them. So they'll be disconnected in here, but you can log in from your client, as I showed you earlier. So this is using Remote Ripple. This is not using NoVNC. And as you can see, now I have access to their WhatsApp account. I can read all their messages. I can send any message I want, and I have full control over it. So this is just another example of how powerful this method is. If you can load something in the browser, you're going to be able to social engineer your target into logging into it or accessing it by simply giving them a URL. This is so generic and can be used in so many scenarios. And that's why these browser in the middle or browser in browser attacks are very, very dangerous and very hard to protect against, because you're actually giving the target a legit URL. You're giving them a legit website. For example, in the case of EvilGenX or reverse proxies, the website owner can implement security features to prevent it from working. But when you're simply giving them the actual website to log into, there is nothing that the website owner can implement to stop you from doing that, because the user is actually logging in to a legit website.